Hello, and I was just forwarded a video, very controversial and disturbing video, and I was asked for my comments. And it was a very disturbing video, so I thought, let me give it a look. Well, this video is all about a very well-known welfare hospital in Bombay, India, the Tata Hospital. And just outside this hospital, like it is, many people give food for free, like NGOs basically. And here we see that the food is being distributed, and this lady, apparently who's a Muslim, is standing in queue, and she goes asks for the food, and this guy who's distributing the food asks her to chant Jai Shri Ram, which in sense is only like glory to Ram, their deity of Hindus. And she refuses, and this guy says, go away, I will not give you the food. And he doesn't. Till the video ends, there is no indication that she was served the food. Very disturbing, coming from an NGO who's supposed to be serving a hospital. The Tata Group, one of the greatest philanthropists this country has ever known, by the name of the late Mr. Ratan Tata, who very recently passed away. Very unfortunate, but anyway, even he would have turned in his grave, knowing what is happening outside the hospital made by them, by his group. Let's take a look at the video.
तेरे बाप का है? हाँ मेरे बाप का है। तेरे बाप का है तो भिगा के तो देख, भगा के तो देख, भगा के तो देख तेरे बाप का है। तेरे उसको बुला के ला राजा को, इसको फेंकेगा या तो बाहर।
क्या हुआ अंकल? अंकल अंकल क्या हुआ अंकल? बोलिए।
नहीं हुआ।
नहीं, क्या बोल रही है?
खाना दूंगा तो जय श्री राम बोलने का दिल करेगा तो ना बोलूंगी।
हॉस्पिटल वाले मतलब कोई किसी तरीके का भेदभाव नहीं कर रहे।
हाँ।
आप लोग खाना बांटने आ रहे हो, खाना बांट के जाओ बस। ये थोड़ी है कि आप है।
अरे ये कौन उपदेश दे रहा है? खाना बांट के जाओ, जय श्री राम बोलेगा तो खाना मिलेगा। ज्यादा बकवास नहीं करने का।
The distributor told her, जिसको राम नहीं बोलना है लाइन में खड़ा नहीं हो, which means those who won't say Ram should not stand in the line.
Disturbing, isn't it? Well, that got me thinking. In this country of India, Christians are basically like 2% of the population. It never changed in these decades of freedom, like 70, 80 years of freedom. And Christians are very frequently accused of forceful or coercive or fraudulent conversions. Those who are not in India, you need to do something. Most of the social welfare work done in this country is by Christians. At this time, of course, there are a lot of other philanthropic organizations that's also come. Most of them are fraudulent, doing it just for taxation, tax benefit purposes. But around 38%, as per government statistics, the 2% population was doing 38% of the social work in this country. Just imagine that. Now, with that statistics in place, just think, what if the missionaries had done this thing? All of the best, finest schools, hospitals, universities in this country were run by, and still being run by, Christian institutions. When I was a child, I was, by God's grace, I could get into a convent school. They are called convent schools in India. School of mine that I was studying in, it was Cardinal Gracious High School. You can look it up. It was in Bandra, Mumbai, India. At that time, it was one of the most prestigious schools in the country. You know what were the fees? In the first standard, I was paying 1 rupee per month. Second standard, 2 rupees. Third standard, 3 rupees. Fourth standard, 4 rupees. And up to the 10th, where you pay 10 rupees per month. And even if that is something you cannot afford, you can still go and say to the people that I cannot afford. And sometimes we were not in that good shape, and even though the amount was very good, very, very less, we still couldn't afford it. And the principal would just make a note, and the fees were waived off. That was how a Christian school was run. Even at this time, the Christian institutions are some of the finest hospitals in the country and universities in the country. Let me just quickly run for you some government statistics. 31 Christian colleges in the top 100 rankings as per the 2023 NIRF listing. National Institute Ranking Framework. It is a government model for ranking institutions. And in the top 100 institutions, NIRF listed institutions in the country, 31 Christian colleges. If we take top 150, another 13 are added. If we take the top 200 colleges, another 12 are added. So total 56 colleges are Christian institutions that got into the top 100 NRF ranking list. 25%, in short, of the top 200 colleges in the country, or 30% of the top 100 colleges in the country, are Christian institutions. I put the link in the description. You can go through it and you can see the listing on your screen now. Um, just like endless. Look at the listing of colleges which is there. Even in the management colleges, there is XLRI, which is again like the top premier, management institution in the country. XLRI, which is like a brand in itself, is again a Christian institution. Christ University, Bangalore. There's so many, Indian ranking medical colleges. There's CMC Medical College in Vellore. Unfortunately, my uncle got throat cancer, and we were in Orissa in India, and he was asked to go to CMC Vellore. And top of the line care, top of the line medical support was provided over there at extremely nominal cost. CMC Vellore, Christian Medical College in Vellore, St. John's Medical College in Bangalore, Christian Medical College in Ludhiana, Christ University in Bangalore. Let me ask you, if you are really suffering and you go to this Christian institutions in the country, to this Christian medical institution in the country, which person in his right frame of mind would not agree to get baptized had the missionary said, convert to Christ and we will give you the best medical care? Not one did. There has been numerous accusations upon accusations that Christians are converting in a fraudulent manner by coercion and by giving some bribe. Had they done this, more than half of this country would have been Christians at this time. I came to Christ by the hand of God. As you might have seen my testimony, it's there on the channel. I didn't come to Christ because somebody in my school at that time forced me to read a Bible. That's what it is, brothers and sisters. And if somebody does ask me, why do Christians do all these things? As you might be knowing, across the world, all the literally the invention of hospitals, orphanages, all the school colleges has been, especially in India, done by the missionaries. In India, there was no concept also of a global education like a system or a process, because here it was only like education for the high caste as per the caste system, which is very prevalent in this country. But this was opened by missionaries. Think about it. What if the missionaries had done what this creep in the name of Hinduism was asking this Muslim woman to do? Had the missionaries done that, this whole country would have been Christian at this time. In closing, brothers and sisters, I would like to tell you why Christians do this. It's because of the solemn commandment of the Lord our God, where he says that even if you give a drink of water to the least of those in my name, you've done it for me. And Christ says in another remarkable verse, there are dozens and dozens more, but this is really striking, where he says, for I was hungry, to the righteous he says, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Hallelujah. This is what drives. Now, you might say, in closing, somebody might say, oh, this is just in the New Testament. You'd be shocked, in case you're not aware already, that this is right there from the Old Testament itself. And when I started reading the Bible, I was shocked. It was literally like a drumbeat across the whole Bible. Let me just read a few verses for you. We see, say, in Exodus 22:22, do not mistreat widows or orphans. If you do, they cry out to me. You can be sure I'll take them seriously. I'll show my anger and come raging among you with the sword, and your wives will end up as widows and your children as orphans. Now, this is, if you see the drumbeat of the heart of God, it is widows, orphans, and strangers. Strangers are those who don't even believe in the Christian belief. These are literally pagans. And look at this. And we read then in Deuteronomy 4:10, verses 14 to 18, and he says again, He's the master of all masters, a God of an immense, powerful, and awesome. He doesn't play favorites, doesn't takes no bribes, makes sure no orphans and widows are treated fairly, takes loving care of foreigners by seeing that they get food and clothing. We see that happening again in 14:28 to 29, Deuteronomy 16:9 to 11. Again, it's the same thing. It is foreigners, orphans, and widows. Foreigners are, again, I'm saying it is those pagans, it is those who don't even believe in the Christian faith or in the Jewish belief. We see that again in Deuteronomy across the board, and then we see in Psalms, multiple Psalms. We see that in Jeremiah. We see that multiple times in Jeremiah. We see that in Ezekiel, Zechariah, across the Bible. There are many, many more. This is just a few, dozens and dozens of verses. So that, brothers and sisters, is what the Christian heart is all about. It's all about servitude, because Christ came not to rule, but to give his life as a ransom for many, in whose name we have salvation. See you in my next video. God bless you.